This is code red for the Ohio State Buckeyes as a new update reveals something that no Ohio State fan wanted to hear, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Columbus Football 365. If you're an Ohio State football fan, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. But let's jump into the news for today. We got the rumor mill is spinning as the transfer portal is opening. I didn't really want to cover this, but this story has just gotten so big and so out of control that there was no ignoring it. There was no finding other news about Ohio State football. This is what absolutely everyone around the program is talking about right now. Coming from Sports Illustrated, Ohio State running back Bo Jackson may be entering the transfer portal if the Buckeyes cannot meet the desired amount that he and his camp are seeking. According to WBNS TV, Jackson is seeking an NIL deal that would surpass what Ohio State's running backs earned last season and rival some NFL rookie contracts. Henderson's contract with the New England Patriots is a 4-year rookie deal valued at just over $11 million with a $4.7 million signing bonus. Henderson's rookie year base pay with New England is $840,000 with a $1.1 million signing bonus. Based on those figures, it appears that Jackson and his camp may be requesting the Buckeyes pay somewhere in the realm of $1.8 million to retain the freshman. Ohio State will have to decide whether spending a huge chunk of its NIL money to pay just one starter is worth not letting him slip into the transfer portal. A nearly $2 million NIL deal would cost around 10% of the program's total NIL budget last season. That final 10% of the budget from last season, that is based on figures reported by Ohio State's AD Ross Bjork. So that is not, confirmed, but he's not lying to us. So it would be, should all the numbers be right, Bo Jackson asking for $1.8 million, which is around 10% of what our entire budget to pay all of these players are. And this is really unfortunate news. A couple days after two of our backup running backs decided to enter the transfer portal to leave the program. Now, Bo Jackson, it is a question mark whether or not he will be back with the program. I know on this channel, I've been talking about how I wanted to add more running backs from the transfer portal, but this was not what anyone wanted to see or really expected to see. One quick thing that we have to put out here, and remember, there have been a ton of players that have entered the transfer portal and came back and recommitted to the school that they originally said they were going to transfer from. And these are just rumors for now. Unfortunately, where there is smoke, there is fire, and there is a lot of smoke on this rumor right now. This is absolutely inescapable. The smoke is it's choking the fan base right now. This is not what anyone wanted to hear. Bo Jackson's stats were highly impressive for a freshman this season with Ohio State behind an offensive line that a lot of people feel like could have been improved. His season could have really been even better, and his statistics rivaled close to the rookie freshman seasons of J.K. Dobbins and Ezekiel Elliott with the program. The thing that I hate the most about what we are hearing about Bo Jackson is the fact that this is just another symptom of a bigger problem. And the bigger problem that we're hearing about from all of the sources that I have, what I'm hearing is pretty much Ohio State is not ponying up the money to get these guys to get them to stay. Now, you can argue whether or not $1.8 million is too much to retain Bo Jackson. And honestly, it kind of feels like it is too much to retain Bo Jackson, but let's just continue to follow some of the breadcrumbs here. Looking at this tweet from Swish X Vibes on X, Ohio State portal entry so far with 9 days still left in the portal. And there is a huge list of players that are in the transfer portal from Ohio State. And guess what? The guys that are on the screen, only the offense. There's still an entire defensive list as well as a very important stat here. But already in the transfer portal, Lincoln Kienholz, James Peoples, Sam Williams-Dixon, who are two of our three backup running backs this season. We still have Isaiah West. So right now it's Bo Jackson and Isaiah West. It would just be Isaiah West should Bo Jackson decide to enter the portal and leave the program. Quincy Porter, Mylan Graham, Bryson Rogers, Demarion Witten, Jelani Thurman, Tegra Shabola, Javon McFadden, Justin Terry, Devontae Armstrong, and Isaiah Kima. A ton of offensive players. We have the defensive list: CJ Hicks, Logan George, Dominic Kirks, Maxwell Roy, Bryce West, Aaron Scott. There is a safety that just entered the portal pretty much as I started to record this video. If I can quickly, I don't see his name right in front of me, but there is another Ohio State player in the transfer portal. So it's not even just the guys on this list, but the stat that really matters on this image is that is 21 entries, which is already 6 more than last year's total. We are just starting here on the transfer portal, and already Ohio State is losing so many players. Does this mean they don't want to pay the guys enough? I mean, is it, some of the players, they are looking for greener pastures. They're not getting enough playing time at Ohio State, and they don't foresee in the future that they ever will get playing time, and that makes sense. That's completely understandable. Ohio State brings in top recruits every single season, and even guys that were phenomenal in high school or even good at Ohio State may be losing snaps to other players who are also talented. That makes a ton of sense, but just losing so many people, it's really startling to see for a program like Ohio State to be facing attrition at this level. So we have Bo Jackson not getting enough money. We have these players, this list of 21 entries, which I believe is not even including Keenan Nelson, who we're also seeing is in the transfer portal per 24/7 Sports. Also, we know our number one target right now, Chaz Coleman, also is not an Ohio State Buckeye because we did not pay enough money. He is in a bidding war between, we're not in the bidding war. I'm not even going to say our name. Chaz Coleman is currently in a bidding war between the schools, Texas, LSU, and Tennessee. He wants to come to Ohio State. He's from the state of Ohio. The reason why Chaz Coleman was not signed the day that he took a visit to Columbus was because we didn't pay enough money. The quote was, we had to get our money right if we were going to sign Chaz Coleman, and we're not going to get him. And, that's highly unfortunate. The question you have to ask yourself is, how much do you trust Ross Bjork to put this roster together? He took over, in, I believe it was July of last season, but he was involved in decisions earlier. All right, let's get this timeline right. 2024, July is when Ross Bjork took over. But earlier on in that year, he was involved in some of the decisions that put together that roster that went ahead and won the national championship. So that was a great job by everyone involved, Ross Bjork and others. 2025, you would expect Ohio State to undergo a soft rebuild, not a full rebuild, because you don't rebuild fully in college football anymore, or so we thought. 2025, Ross Bjork is now the athletic director. He's got all the keys to the castle. He's calling all the shots. Puts together a very, very good roster and did a great job of stomaching all of the losses on the offensive line. Offensive line, defensive line. Guys going to the NFL at every position other than, we only lost Emeka Egbuka wide receiver, but we had plenty of talent in that department to backfill that. But the question is, how much do you trust Ross Bjork to put this roster together? Over the last 2 seasons, he's done a great job, and they have been amazingly put together rosters. You can ask yourself, do you really believe that the roster was not talented enough to win the national championship this year? I mean, to me, it certainly looked like it came down to coaching in the playoffs, and it came down to execution in the playoffs. And it was execution on plays that, the plays that were not executed at a high enough level. It was stuff that our guys can do. They just didn't do them in those moments where it mattered. So I trust Ross Bjork as much as that's not great analysis, and I don't want to say that. There has to be a plan here. We're still Ohio State. We still have all the resources when we decide to spend them, so they don't have to go $1.8 million to a running back, as good as he may be. Remember, he didn't blow the roof off of college football this season, but Bo Jackson was only a freshman. I think it makes a lot of sense, actually, for Bo Jackson to try to cash in on that season right now And you can complain all you want about the transfer portal and how it's, if you think it's ruining college football, which I believe it isn't, if you think NIL is ruining college football, which I believe it isn't, then you can complain about all that stuff. And really, as ugly as it is, that's coming up right here. This is almost as ugly as it gets. The DeMond Williams situation is significantly uglier, but this is an ugly situation. Hopefully it gets resolved soon and we can figure out where exactly these guys are going. Or you talking about Bo Jackson, but I really want to see Ohio State start to spend some money in this roster building period. We got championships to win. There are no longer rebuilding periods in college football. We shouldn't be trying to do a rebuild. Don't save that money. Let's go spend it and let's go win a championship in 2026. You know what I meant. Well, in the season of 2026, win a championship in 2027. That's what I got for this video. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Buckeyes.